responsibility. I often say, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. It is quite true that there are many conditions in life that confer a less than desirable experience. But it is also true that at the end of your days on this planet, your life will have been lived only by you. How you experience whatever conditions life hands you correlates directly to how much responsibility you choose to take. None of us can control all, if any, of the conditions, but we can choose how we experience the conditions we find ourselves in. If we do not begin to debunk the deep inner myth that many of us carry, that we do not deserve greater joy, love, or ease in our loves because we are blank, fill in the blank with your choice of uns or nots, then we condemn ourselves to the role of victims in our own movies. Instead of understanding conditions as what may be toxic but also temporary, your heart becomes the source of what ails. I originally met Valerie while visiting the San Francisco-based center of her practice community, Triratna Buddhist Community. I'm sure we couldn't help but notice each other, as we are both women of African descent, practicing in lineages of Buddhism strongly populated by white Westerners. My own tradition of Zen has also been oriented toward a very male-centered, sometimes even aggressive expression. The practices can be intense and solitary. Descended from medieval Japan after wending its way from its origins in India through China and Korea before arriving in the West, everything about the practice was unfamiliar. The aesthetics, the flowing robes, small cushions to sit on, folding your knees like only kids do in the West. That kind of environment didn't seem like the kind of place that a 22-year-old black, mixed-raced, queer, feminist, and political and social activist woman would decide to find connection to her inner life. But I did. Eventually, I became one of very few. There are currently only 3 black women sanctioned as teachers in this foreign from the outside world. In some ways, we are doubly foreign. Buddhism is not from our own heritage or motherlands, and we have largely learned from and among white practitioners. One could say, and people sometimes do, that it doesn't make sense that we would take up Buddhism. But one of the things we share is an ability to see beyond the labels put on things and recognize the essential nature, whatever label you may put on it, teachings and practices that support people in detoxing their hearts of negative thoughts and emotions and unskillful behaviors are teachings that belong to us all. We have enough borders and divisions and imaginations of difference that make us feel separate, not only from each other, but from our own selves. What Valerie offers here are tools and teachings that unify, first and foremost, our minds with our hearts. Only from there can we truly hope to begin to branch out further, to look across the landscape of perceived otherness and see the decidedly hopeful sameness of our shared humanity. The man that would become known as the historic Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, was often compared to a doctor. When one suffers deeply, one doesn't question the name of the medicine, but rather one takes it in small doses to see if it works to ease the suffering. If the medicine remains in the bottle, it is of little use. Similarly, Detox Your Heart provides a diagnosis as well as a prescription. Practices to treat the ongoing ailment of heart-minds toxified by the environs we find ourselves in. Like the medicine